life is checking on me. So with that, I am Ismani Surve, and today I am going to talk about Generation Z. And a couple of years before, I was introduced to concepts of generation, and that gave me a thought that which generation I am from. And as we generally do, I went back to Google and searched, and to realize I belong to the generation Y. And then I thought, why? Why are generations tagged? What I am today, does it matter which year am I born in? Does it matter how I am as a generation holder? I believe what matters is where I am brought up. It matters what is my background, what kind of friends I have, what kind of school I go to, what kind of education that I get. And that's what makes my personality. So why tag people with generations? And that gives me a second thought, that there is no generation gap. When we evolve on technologies, we say it is advancement. So when we evolve on generation, should we call it a gap? I believe we should call it advancement. And to that, I want to go to a little ancient history where Abhimanyu learned from his mother's womb how to break the Chakravyuh. So does every new generation is learning the current generation ways of living, coming here and challenging them to advance it. So it is definitely going to be difficult for the older generation to cope up with the change, to accept what the new generation is expecting. But that is not gap. That is our failure as an older generation to accept the change that is coming, the fresh ideas that we are getting, the fresh blood cells that are telling us to develop and come out of your comfort zone. So today what I'm going to talk about is what patterns and practices an organization should have at the same point of time, what every generation needs to make sure that they have when they join any organization. So the first thing which I want to mention to the organizations is they should focus on the value they want to. Consistently playing around your value. Don't leave your ground. Don't change things because generations are changing. You can change the ways of working. You can bring in new methods. You can bring in new processes. When I interact with my clients or my colleagues or my friends, they find me to be a different person than the generation I come from. They believe I am either elder or they believe I am a little more immature. But how I am made is when I observe people, when I learn every day something from someone. How do I do that? I look at what is appreciated, I pick it, and I drop what is not liked. So it has nothing to do with generations or advancements or the area that you come from. Because it is a marathon that we have here in terms of advancing ourselves. And so the organization should also focus when they are creating the working patterns in the same manner. They should not look at it as a sprint, making a change in a policy and that will make them the best employer. No. They have to run the marathon on and on and on to make sure that they match it to every generation that comes and works with them. But how about the generations who are going and working? Since I interview a couple of people every day in, day out, and there are varied age groups that I interview. And believe me friends, even the oldest person or the youngest person, the organization appreciates 4 things. So if you are looking to getting into a job, a corporate world, what you should embrace? First, accountability. You need to be accountable for whatever you are today. Learn to take the ownership of yourself. Don't put things on somebody else. I was not able to do XYZ because I had some ABC. Right? That is not accountability. What you are is your responsibility. That is the first working practice you need to take. Because if at work you start blaming on others, you will go nowhere. The second life skill that you all need to pick up is passion. Right? We heard about the endorphins and the serotonin and then further how to keep it active on and on. But what is important is what makes you happy. There are people who have changed fields overnight. They have decided this is not something that they love and they want to move to something new. So there is no late. You can any day begin to change your career. So the second skill that you need to pick is find your passion. Continue doing it, because when you have a passion to do it, in your work pattern, it becomes more successful. Because then only you take ownership, you can manage anything, you will go that extra mile and you will not be tired. The third thing that you need to pick up is responsibility. We all are Spider-Man fan here, that with great power comes great responsibility. Right? So when we have the power to make an organization's culture, we have the power to prove ourselves, we have the power to own our responsibilities. That's what you need to do, learn. So when we interview people, we majorly look and we question them on these three major aspects, which is definitely influenced how you have been brought up, what education you come from, what kind of inculcation that you have taken in terms of your values. Right? Other than that, the world is going very fast. The technology is changing every day, and sometimes the virtual world tells us that this is the life, while it is just an illusion. People say that they are going on vacation, people say they are all around the place and they find themselves to be victims. But my dear friends, it is the illusion. Do you ever put anything which is sad or unacceptable on your social media? Then why do you expect others to do that? So that's something which the new generation, which is also called as the Zoomers, that's why Generation Z. Because they are the ones who are zooming on internet. They are the ones who love to be gadget friendly. They are the ones who are living out of gadget. They are the ones who want the apps to monitor how much they walked. They are the ones who want the app to tell them what they should eat. They are the ones who want the app to tell how much they slept. Right? So we need to come out of this technology obsession. We need to connect with people around us. Humans are basically social animals. And when you go at work, you need to connect with people. You need to be emotionally intelligent. Because otherwise all the intelligence is available on internet, isn't it? But you have to realize emotional intelligence is not available on gadgets. It's not available online. But it is very much available within you. And for that, you need to connect with yourselves more than the gadgets. As the time has changed, so has the requirements. When earlier, the generation X used to survive, they were fighting for survival, they used to look for money. Then came generation Y, they wanted money along with recognition. And now we have generation Z coming into the workplace. I have been researching to know that generation Z needs ethical, transparent culture to work at. But along with speed, along with faster growth, along with dynamism in the profile. It's very glamorous to consider, but for that, as I mentioned, you need to have passion. You need to have responsibility. You need to have accountability towards your work. When you have emotional intelligence, it will also help you connect with people. It will also help you balance your work-life balance. We all are working, we all are in a profession so that we can survive our needs. But we need to live the life. And living the life can happen when you become emotionally intelligent. So this is something which you have to take back to your working patterns, that you don't become that person who clock in and clock out. You need to be the person who should be able to connect, who should be able to connect with yourself. That's why when money was the requirement of the generation, they used to look for IQ, that is the intelligent quotient. When the money got added with recognition, there was a need of emotional quotient. And now in today's time, what is required is SQ, that is spiritual quotient. Because as you are evolving in the dynamic world, as the pressure is increasing, as the ambitions are increasing, as the advancement is happening, people are missing to connect with themselves. And that's where the spiritual quotient comes in picture. So if I have to tell you what I want to tell in a nutshell, organization, when making working patterns and practices, they should value on the focus of intention. What is their intention of offering to their employees? Right? And when it comes to Generation Z, who's getting into work culture, what they need to learn is emotional quotients, that is emotionally intelligent. They need to be responsible, they need to be accountable, they need to have the passion for the work that they are doing. And then nothing is going to stop you at work. Right? And before I tell you on the final note, when you look at things differently, things look different. So learn to look at things differently. Don't look at things how everybody is looking at it. Look at it from your own perspective. That will give you a whole new way of looking at it. Secondly, it's okay to have failures. It's okay to have negative feelings. When you make mistakes, then only you are going towards perfection. And the last thing which you always should have in your life, no matter what generations you belong to, is you should be thankful for what you have today. Because there are millions of people who even don't have what you have today. You should be thankful for the life that God has given. People may not have 2 hands and 2 legs. People may not have a lot of things that you have today. So you need to be grounded. You need to have gratitude towards life. And that will make you or take you a long way in your life further. So thank you very much, and it was a pleasure talking to you.